Are you wanting to have more time, energy, and money? Then this episode is for you.
You're listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. Here's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
Hello, lovely dynamic women, and welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And as we come to the end of the year, or actually any time of year, it is good to be able to jump in and do some releasing of things that don't serve you anymore. Why? So we can have more time, energy, and money. So in this episode, I'm going to break down each of those aspects, time, energy, and money, and talk about the different ways that you can find more of it, that you can release things that are taken up your time, energy, and money, so that in the next year or in the next 12 months, that you are going to be able to just feel so much better, to drop these things that are holding you back from achieving your goals, from having focus and having confidence. Because when we are lacking time, energy, and money, it really makes everything harder. It's kind of like you're going after your goals, but you're either in quicksand or you're in really sticky, heavy mud, and you're going uphill. And so it makes things a lot harder. Because when you don't have enough time, you feel rushed, you feel stressed, and you have to prioritize the top things. But oftentimes that means, and with what I see in my clients, is that their health suffers, their personal goals suffer, because they end up putting other people and other people's agendas first, like kids and spouses and other obligations, work, business, clients, when they really need to spend the time on themselves. With energy, if we don't have the energy, we don't have the ability to be motivated, to be able to move past things that are hard, to have resilience, persistence, to be able to work through the obstacles that are presented to us. We're just too tired. And then bad habits come into play because we're trying to regain the energy in oftentimes means that don't give us energy to start with. And when we don't have the money, it puts us in a scarcity mindset. It's not a place that you want to be, because you make decisions that are not bold because you're being protective of yourself. And you maybe take on clients and customers that aren't in alignment with who you want to work with, or you take on projects or jobs that you really don't want to do, which ends up zapping your energy and your time as well. So the first one, look back on the past year, the past 12 months, and ask yourself, where did I focus my time? Was it on social media? Was it in a group that doesn't serve you? That could be a networking group. It could be a group online. It could be a group of friends. Or were you watching TV rather than maybe reading, or rather than focusing on a goal? So where were you focusing your time? I encourage you to, take a few moments, pause this episode, write them down, or if you're on the move, pull up the notes section of your phone and just verbally say where were you focusing your time? Another good way to really figure this out is look at your planner, your schedule, your calendar, and see where you were and where most of your time was spent. Some of you might be using a time tracking tool like Toggl, Toggl, and you can actually see which tasks in your business you are spending time. And just reflect on a typical day, typical week. What are your evenings like? When did you finish work? What did you do after work? What were you then doing on the weekends, in the morning of the weekends, the evening? How much time sleeping did you get? Once you know exactly where you were focusing your time, you can decide if you want to continue doing that. See, a lot of times we get into bad habits or we get into coping mechanisms that are based on just what we decide in the moment to do rather than setting a very clear intention for how we want to spend our time. I fall into this trap when I'm tired and I just want to put on Netflix and zone out. But I know that that doesn't serve me. And I have so many books that I need to read, want to read, and I'm not doing it. And it's like, I don't have time to read. I do have time to read. If I have time to watch a 2-hour movie, I have time to read. And so by doing this reflection of where you spend your time, you get to consciously decide where you want to spend your time moving forward. The second piece, look back on the last year and where did you focus your energy? And with energy, I'm going to focus more a little bit on like who you're being. So were you spending your energy or using your energy, focusing your energy on worrying, on stressing, on people who don't support you? Were you looking at social media and was it focused on jealousy, desire, envy of what other people have? Was it on what you're not? Did you focus your energy on procrastinating rather than just going and doing what you want? Were you being busy or were you being productive? Was your energy on reaction rather than being proactive on things? So was your energy on exercising or was your energy on rehab? Was your energy on eating healthy and sleeping properly? Or was the energy spent on making coffee and taking care of your illnesses with medicine? Not saying that taking care of yourself after you're sick is wrong. Just saying, was all of your energy spent on the after rather than the before? On the prevention rather than the solving of the problem? So think back to situations, look at all areas of your life and ask yourself, was I focusing my energy on things that were most important to me? Is it how I want to spend my energy, focus my energy? You know, as I go through this, it really brings to a point the Dynamic Year program and how looking back on the past year really gives us insight as to how we want to live moving forward. And so we don't make the same mistakes again, so that we don't get into these negative habitual loops, circles of doing the same thing, that we don't let the saboteur win. The third area is looking back on the last year and where did you focus your money? And this is actually what brought about this episode. I was looking over my statements from this month, my credit card statements, and just being like, wow, I'm putting $7 here for this and $35 for that and $100 for that and $250 for that. And I know that it's the time of year where I really take stock as to what I really need moving forward. So let me give you some suggestions here and ones that I'm focusing on right now. So are you focusing your money on software that you don't use? There are a couple things in my business where I'm like, oh, I'm not really using that, but I'm paying so many hundreds of dollars for it every month. I need to release them. Is it on food and alcohol? Maybe that goes against your goals. So if you have a goal of being healthier, are you still putting money into chocolates and chips and cookies and pizzas and alcohol? But you maybe turn your nose up a little bit to the price of certain fruits or health supplements or things that are actually going to help you, maybe a personal trainer. Or are you spending on items that you didn't need? Items that feed your ego rather than are things that you truly want and desire and help you reach your goals. So when I was looking at my credit card statement, I was looking at one of my major CRM and thinking, do I really need it to be like this? I was also looking at a funnel software and thinking, I haven't been using that. Even things like my Spotify account, like I'm at home, I have Amazon Prime Music, and I use the TV music stations. And so do I really need that? Because a lot of the reason for getting that was have ad interrupted music for when I'm running my events. It's just not necessary right now. So with all of these areas where you focus your time, your energy, and your money, you have the choice to release them permanently. You also have the choice to release them temporarily to see if you can be without it. Or because like maybe for me, Spotify, it's like, I don't really need that $10. And you may think, oh, it's just $10, just $10, doesn't matter. Well, it adds up. And what charity could use that $10? Maybe what book would be better purchased with that $10? Or maybe it's hiring a VA. I've got 2 VAs and people say, oh, but you're at a different level than me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what level you're at. No CEO runs the company all by themselves. So even having a few hours of support from a VA could make a big difference. Where you focus your energy, if you could have 10% more energy because it's not being sucked down by you looking at people or reacting to people that don't support you or worrying about things or procrastinating, like what could you do with that pocket of energy? Maybe that's where you write your book. Maybe that's where you start your podcast. Maybe that's where you go after some of the clients or customers that you really want to work with. And if you had more time, what would you do with that? Would you spend it with loved ones, building those relationships more? Would you take on a passion project of something that you've only been dreaming about? Really, the possibilities are endless, but it comes down to conscious choice and setting intentions. And so these questions of where do you want to focus your time, your energy, and your money, that's going to be part of the Dynamic Year program. After we evaluate the past year, then we go through and create, grab all that wisdom and then create a plan. When we look at our new goals, so this is really where it comes into play. Clients have said to me, should I invest in this, Diane, this certain program or this certain person or this certain software? I've said, is it in alignment with your goals for this year? If it's not in alignment with your goals that you're focusing on right now, then maybe right now is not the time to purchase it. Maybe right now is not the time to say yes to an opportunity that seems fabulous. Maybe now is not the time to say yes to being part of a board or taking on a volunteer position or a certain project with a certain client, because your time needs to be spent in other areas or invested in other areas so that you can reach your goals. So while you need to take stock of where you're at, take stock of where you are spending time, energy, and money rather than investing it. And I don't mean investing like stocks and bonds sort of investing or Bitcoins. I mean more so investing is where you use it in order to get a return. A lot of times we are throwing away our time, energy, and money. And I'm guilty of this. That's why I have to continuously go back and see, where am I spending my time? Is it on the things that are helping me reach my goals? And this year I've had to end a few things that I'm a part of. And it's funny because as soon as I end one thing, I almost get like a better offer that comes in. Where am I focusing my energy? I have to continuously be shifting this because I don't know, the past couple of years, I just haven't fully felt like myself. And so sitting in front of the TV has been very, very much a pull. And also with all the injuries I've had, I haven't been able to do the physical stuff that I want to do. But I could still do some stuff at lower intensity, right? I do Pilates, but I've stopped hiking. And why? I don't know. I don't know why I have stopped. But that's again where by sitting down and evaluating these things, you really get to now make conscious choices to where you want to use and invest your time, energy, and money. So release the bad. Find out where you can cut things out to gain more time, gain more energy, and have more money. Release them, or even temporarily try life without them. It might be also that you just switch. You switch from one provider to another, or you switch from one board to another, or you switch from one project to another. And you just see if it is a better fit. And my team will know that I do this. I'm doing it with transcription services. I keep switching providers because I want to know what is going to be the most efficient way of doing it and the one that's most, cost savings. And when you are able to have more time, energy, and money, you can really use them to invest in the things that you are really wanting to do, the things that are most important to you. So as we kind of end the year, I encourage you to take the time to do this. This needs to be part of your goal setting process. If you'd like to join the Dynamic Year program, I am doing it on January 21st. It's going to be virtual. If you prefer to do it at your own pace, you can get the home learning program and not join on that day. The Dynamic Year retreat that we're doing in Harrison Hot Springs is sold out now. That is going to be a 2 nights to stay overnight. And we're going to be together, a very intimate, small group of women who are going to be able to evaluate the previous year, get all the learnings, and come out with a plan, a 1-page plan for the year. And this step is now going to be part of it. It is just so cool to get the reviews that you leave for the Dynamic Women podcast. I thank you immensely. This next review comes from Ott Finotny, and if I've said that wrong, my apologies. But their review is so lovely. They said, "Dynamic indeed. You cannot go wrong listening to this podcast on how to be successful in a side hustle or any of Diane's other podcasts. I was actually introduced to Diane by Jackie, not in person, of course, due to the pandemic. I really love her down-to-earth approach and her passion for lifting others up so they can shine and be dynamic too. Thank you, Diane, for sharing your gift and for bringing out the best in others." Oh, well, thank you so much for this. If you heard your review on one of our podcasts, please make sure that you email team@DianeRolston.com. Let us know that it was you and let us know your mailing address so that we can send you something special. So I hit like, subscribe, share with a friend, and write a review if you haven't yet. I do send a little something special to those who write reviews, and I read them online. So until next time, everyone, stay dynamic. Bye.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.